William, I think that's your third cotton candy?
But it's so sweet.
We have something sweet for you, another episode of Garden Time. Welcome to Garden Time, and welcome to the Oregon State Fair. Oh, William, that is sweet.
I know, it really is sweet.
And you know what is sweet is to come to the Oregon State Fair. It's the last weekend, and it's till Monday.
In fact, later on in the show, we're going to do a segment on all of the different winners in the vegetable and floral areas of the Oregon State Fair.
And also coming up in the show today, we'll take you to a patio makeover.
But coming up first, we're going to show you some friendly bugs.
This morning, I'm in the garden at Edgefields in Troutdale, and I'm with Logan from Collier Arbor Care. So good morning.
Good morning.
So you have this garden as your client, and you are working with them for pest control, care of the plants, health of the plants, but you do something different here to work with the organic nature of this garden. So what do you do here?
So one of the things that we do here in our integrated pest management toolbox is we do beneficial insect releases. So we're essentially using good bugs to help combat the bad ones.
Oh, that's interesting. So they'll actually eat them and take care of them, so you don't have to use any kind of pesticide.
Exactly. It's we still do have some pesticide use of like safer soaps and oils that don't have any residual. And we're able to get some kind of long-lasting control using these natural predators.
So you don't have to use the harsh chemicals. You use the softer ones on the environment and on the plants.
Exactly.
So what kind of ones do you have in your little box here?
Well, this is my colleague Ray,
Hi,
and
Ray.
we have three different insects with us today. So we've got our green lacewing larvas. So that's that big honeycomb. So inside of there, each of those cells has one larva on it. So these are called the aphid lion, and they eat a lot of different pests. They eat aphids, lace bugs, mites. They even eat each other.
And they eat them at the larval stage, and then they'll hatch out into adults. And what do the adults do then?
Well, the adults feed on nectar. So the adults' really only purpose is to mate and lay new eggs.
And pollinate, so that's great. So really you have that whole cycle there, and they kind of lay the eggs back, and the larva will go and attack all the bad bugs.
Yep.
Excellent.
So the next insect that we have in there is our Neosolaceous predatory mites. So these are a general mite predator, and they're a good mite, which is a tiny spider, and they eat other mites. On arborvitae or hemlocks, any of the mite-prone plants.
And those are sometimes so hard to control. So really to have this in your toolbox or in your arsenal there to get rid of them, that's really great. And what else you got? And
then our last one is the aphid-eating midge. This one is my favorite. They hatch as adults, and they fly up into the tree, and they'll lay eggs next to high aphid populations. And its larva is this bright orange, almost like a little slug. It doesn't have any legs, and it exclusively eats aphids. And it'll inject a toxin into their legs to paralyze them, and it'll do that to more aphids than it can eat. So in high aphid populations, we actually get great control with this insect.
The insect world is just so fascinating how they have engineered all that. And I know that tulip tree that we talked about, it really just kind of decimated the aphid problem, and it just really brought it healthy and really clean of aphids.
Yeah, we were just inspecting it the other day, and we were struggling to find aphids on it.
Well, really, there is so much that you could do in your own garden. There's all kinds of things that you can get online or at your independent garden center. There's always ladybugs to get, and you can really use those on the problem plants at your garden. And Collier Arbor Care has so much information, so you can go to our website, and we'll click you over to theirs for more information. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Garden Time is brought to you by Capital Subaru. your way on the Parkway.
I've been a Capital Subaru customer for 15 years, and one of the main reasons is because they treat me well and I want to shop local. The service department is excellent, and I always feel like I'm taken care of here. In fact, they call me now even after I've driven off the lot to remind me to come in and get my car washed. That service. One of the reasons why I like coming to Capital Subaru, actually, they have the dog area, and I can just walk my dog around the whole area and we can enjoy the outside. I got it my way on the Parkway.
Have you ever wished you could say,
I built that?
At the Northwest College of Construction, you'll learn how to build a home from start to finish. Fully accredited, our school offers the only residential carpentry training program of its kind in the Northwest and is supported by the Home Builders Foundation. Keep your day job and learn how to build on the weekends as you acquire lifelong skills and launch your career as a builder. But hurry, class starts September 23rd and is limited to 12 students. Find out more and register online at nwcoc.com.
Judy,
Yep.
do you remember when I asked you if you liked me? I mean, if you really liked me?
Yeah, I liked you on Facebook.
Yeah, well, I need you to do that again.
Well, we really need everyone to like the new Facebook page for Garden Time. So you just go to gardentime.tv and click on the Facebook icon and like us again for our brand new page.
The fields are in bloom and looking beautiful.
We welcome everyone to come visit us here at Swan Island Dahlias.
Stop by Swan Island Dahlias in Canby and stroll the 40 acres of blooms. And don't forget the Dahlia Festival the last weekend in August and Labor Day weekend. During the festival, you can see over 400 cut flower displays, enjoy specialty foods, and see flower arranging demonstrations.
Swan Island Dahlias is located in Canby.
Just minutes south of Portland.
Come see us!
Well, I am so excited to be at the Oregon State Fair in Salem, and I'm with Ken Graves. And Ken, it's just so much fun to be here.
Oh, it's great to have you here, and we're really excited this year because a lot of people have mentioned that they saw you and I talking about the State Fair a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, because we were inviting people to enter into the contest, to bring your vegetables and to make beautiful flower arrangements. These are stunning.
Absolutely, and people have really turned out. This year we have twice as many entries as we had last year.
So these are kind of arrangements, but then there's also single stems. So really you kind of look at everything that people want to bring in.
That's right, and we also have the produce. We have the garden treasures.
That is
if
right.
you will.
And really that's a good lead in to what's going on this weekend that we can come and see.
Well, before we do, let me show you this.
What is that?
That is an ear of corn.
Kind of wild there.
Yeah, one of nature's oddities. We also have that as a category.
That's kind of fun because I see some wild looking squash here and some cauliflower, but then we see these lovely tomatoes.
Yes.
So many different kinds.
Yep.
And so you were saying there's actually going to be a chef that has a show on TV and she's going to give demonstrations?
Absolutely, yeah. On the Food Channel, Kelsey Nixon. She has a show called Kelsey's Kitchen, and she's going to be here Saturday at noon to give a presentation.
Well, that is nice because the show will be over and people can come down and come to the fair.
Absolutely.
That is fun. So we want to go over to another part of the display and we're going to see something really special.
Oh, I'm really excited about this one.
Let's go over there. So Ken, is this the humongous vegetable category or what?
Absolutely, this is the largest. For 4 years I've been waiting for a pumpkin to come in on a forklift, and this year it finally happened.
And so how big is this one? That is incredible.
It's 554 pounds, and the gentleman said it's an adolescent.
Oh wow, it could have kept going?
Yes,
Holy cow.
he estimates it would be about 1,100 pounds if it was left to maturity.
Wow. And you have some other pumpkins and squash and then a massive sunflower.
Absolutely.
Wild.
And we also have some over here that are equally as large. That's one of the categories, is largest vegetable.
And you know, also to come into the building, and which building are we in?
We're in what used to be called Columbia Hall, now called the Creative Arts Building.
And you can see this wonderful steam tractor right behind us. Very cool.
Yeah, it's an 1880 case, and it's the oldest operational steam tractor in the United States.
That is remarkable.
And he said it might be the world, but he hasn't done the research. So I'll take his word for it. It's old.
So Ken, you got to tell me about the winner of this wonderful sunflower.
Well, for the third year in a row, the same person has won the largest sunflower, and she's now 7 years old. Insists on carrying the head in herself.
Oh man, that must be a sight. Well, as you can hear, there's all ages that can enter all your flowers and your produce. Mark your calendars now for next August to get all the information for the Oregon State Fair website, and make sure that you come out this weekend until Monday to the wonderful Oregon State Fair. It's a blast. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So our tip this week for the garden is on pears and how to know when they're ripe. Now, unlike apples, many of the most popular varieties of pears won't ripen on the tree properly. What you'll get is a pear that tastes good for about a ½ inch in, and then you get that mealy, gritty texture that really none of us like in our pears. To stop this from happening, all you have to do is make sure that the pear is mature but not ripening. And you do that by just going up to your pears, and you can put your thumb on the top, and if it presses in gently when you put pressure on it, well, you know that it's time to pick it. That doesn't mean it's ripe, it's just time to pick the mature pear to let it ripen. Now you do this by chilling it, oddly enough. What this does is keeps the process of ripening from going too fast, slows it down, and then lets the whole pear ripen so you get that really delicious sweet flavor that you're looking for. For more information on the different most popular varieties, go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to a publication that gives you specifics.
Garden Time is brought to you by Portland Nursery, a passion for plants, a nursery for plant people.
Do you want to be green? Do the easy stuff first. Hi, I'm Sarah from Portland Nursery. The U.S. House Energy and Commerce Committee says for every $1 spent on a shade tree, you can save $5 on cooling, blocking the penetrating heat in the summer and allowing the warm rays through in the winter. Dollar for dollar, there's no better energy and money saver than a good, deciduous shade tree. Portland Nursery's professionals can help you make the perfect selection. Portland Nursery, a passion for plants, a nursery for plant people.
Fiberon. Deck it right the first time.
Stop and smell a rose. Hear a child laugh. See the beauty that is Oregon. You will find all this and more at the Oregon Garden in historic Silverton. 400-year-old oaks, edible landscapes, a children's garden. The Oregon Garden has something for everyone. You can ensure the garden remains a jewel in the Mid-Willamette Valley through your support as an individual, family, or corporate member. Support the garden that showcases the diverse botanical beauty of our state, the Oregon Garden.
Well, I'm standing out in the beautiful dahlia fields of Swan Island Dahlias, and I'm here with Heather. How are you, Heather?
Good, how are you?
I'm wonderful, and you know, one of the things I love about dahlias is they seem to bloom a long time. They're so beautiful, and they're one of those great flowers that we can actually bring indoors and make beautiful arrangements out pretty easily.
Yeah.
You're going to help us learn how to do that today,
Hopefully,
aren't you?
yes.
So you have a couple of hints, though, about cut flowers. Let's go over that first before we start.
Main thing with dahlias is they are a great cut flower as long as they've been hot water treated. So once you go out to your garden, enjoy them, bring them in, get all your flowers ready, they need to go in hot water. So they need to go in 160 to 170 degree water, hotter than your tap water, but not boiling.
Yeah, and you can see what it's actually, the colors change.
Right, so they want to go in 2 to 3 inches deep in a plastic or metal container. Stay away from a glass jar as the water will cool too quickly.
Okay.
So it's really important, just like a mopping bucket, a coffee can, anything like that would work perfect, but make sure your stems are long enough that the buds and the flowers will be out of the steam and not trapped down inside the bucket.
Well, and I've noticed that you even did it with the other flowers that you're using. So you don't just do it with dahlias, you do it with all of them.
I do it with a lot of flowers that we have trouble with wilting prematurely. So we found it'll work on a lot of flowers.
Now, once that's done, you know, I don't know if it's just me, but I think a lot of people would agree with me. There's an intimidation factor of making something this beautiful as these arrangements in these glass jars are. So give us some tips and put one together for us.
So a couple tips are, once you've hot water treated, so they're going to sit a minimum of an hour or until the water cools, then they're ready to go. If you're going to work with floral foam, which we'll do here in a minute, you're going to work with flowers first. But if you're going to do jars, which seem like one of the big hits this year, especially for weddings and things, big thing to do first is put in your filler. You're going to have to create a base of some type to hold those stems.
Oh, right. That
so
makes
if
sense.
you just try and put flowers in, they're all going to fall to the outside and never be what you want them to be. So like for instance, the hydrangeas can go in here. A good thing to remember is to pull off those leaves, because the leaves or anything down in the water besides the stems are going to grow the bacteria the quickest. So it's really important to go ahead and clean those guys off and get these guys tucked in. Now once I've created a base, once I go to stick my flowers in there, and we believe if you trim off buds, use them later in your arrangement, but if you trim them off, this flower will last longest if it's only feeding one flower.
Okay, that makes sense too.
Right when I go ahead and put this guy in, it's going to stand right where I want it to. So you could do that with all different kinds of greenery, flowers, just some type of base has to be created. So in this guy, I put the greenery in first, then the flowers, and it can totally depend on how big you want it to be, on how many flowers you need. Most common question is, how many go in a mason jar? Well, it could be 5, it could be a dozen. It just depends on the look you want. Some people do small little mounds, kind of like what I've done here with the hydrangeas. So you kind of have a lot of options.
And Heather, you're a big believer in that it's not so much that there is a correct way, it's what you like, and because it's going to set in your house.
It's in the eye of the beholder. People are sometimes afraid to mix colors and things, and I think it's whatever you love.
I agree with you.
Flowers are flowers, so they can all go together.
So now this is a very simple thing to do.
Right.
How about something that it might seem a bit more intimidating, which is this lovely green foam?
Yes, floral foam is fun to work with. It just has a few important things to remember. One is that you need to make sure you have the right type of floral foam. There's all different brands and names and styles on the market. You need one that's meant for summertime flowers.
Really?
So in the Oasis brand, you need deluxe or standard. There's a springtime, which is meant for tulips, daffodils. It's very soft and it would not hold your dahlia stems.
All right.
There's a Sahara that's a dried foam that'll never soak water. So your flowers would obviously die instantly. So it's really important that you start with the right foam.
I did not know that.
Otherwise, you're in trouble right off the bat before you've even done your arrangement. Second thing, when I worked with the vase, filler flowers went in first.
Certainly.
With floral foam, it's going to be the opposite. Dahlias in first, or whatever your flowers might be for the summertime. Glads, liatris, because they have so much foliage on them, it will require a lot less filler, and you won't be fighting the stems. If I start with greenery and I cover this, which is what most florist shops, a trainee would be doing, is covering this with greens first. If I start that way, then I have a good chance of blocking one of these stems, and the hollow stem would never get any water. So we really recommend that you wait and put your greens in at the end. And again, make sure that you've cleaned your stem off, because any leaves that you put in that is going to create bacteria.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a break while you work on this, and we're going to come back and talk to you about it, okay?
Sounds great.
All right, Heather, I have to say that probably about 10 minutes have passed, and you put together in a very short amount of time this beautiful, beautiful arrangement. Tell me, what were some of the steps that you went through?
Well, I make sure in the floral foam that you start with your tallest points, your widest points. So I set my boundaries, and then I'm going to work in from there. Most people, when they start floral arranging, want to start with the perfect center bloom right facing.
Yeah.
And then it's very hard to go outwards. So what I say, it's like learning to color. You outline first, and then fill in from there.
Well, and what I love about this is you've used 2 different types of dahlias, that foliage, and then salal. There's only really 2 different types of plants in there, and it is beautiful.
Thank you. I just went back and added those buds, the extra dahlia greens, back in as my filler, so it made it nice to not have to have a lot of other things
put in there with it. Yeah, it's a lovely thing. Now, while you finish up this one, if people want to come out and see the fields, this is a perfect time of year to do that, isn't it?
Beautiful time of year. Fields are open 7 days a week, daylight to dark. Or we'd like to say about 6 to 7 o'clock at night, but somewhere in that range.
And if they're interested in the arrangements, what's happening soon that we can come and visit you on that?
Last weekend in August and Labor Day weekend, we do our big annual festival. So there will be over 400 floral arrangements indoors to see. Fields will be in prime. There's food vendors, there'll be music, lots of fun things going on. There will also be these classes to learn a little bit more on the floral arranging and culture of dahlias.
Well, if you love dahlias and if you would like to learn how to do some of these for your own home, you can go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to their website, come out and enjoy the beautiful party out here at Swan Island Dahlias. Thank you so much, Heather.
Thank you.
Welcome to Blooming Junction, where it's easy to connect with nature. At Blooming Junction, you'll find beautiful, healthy plants, good, fresh food, and a place to regain peace and calm in your life. We have an unsurpassed collection of unique and distinctive plants and the expertise to help any gardener be successful. And we feature Blooming Advantage plants. Come check out Blooming Junction for an inspiring experience in the garden or in the kitchen. Blooming Junction, offering quality plants for beautiful gardens.
The fields are in bloom and looking beautiful.
We welcome everyone to come visit us here at Swan Island Dahlias.
Stop by Swan Island Dahlias in Canby and stroll the 40 acres of blooms. And don't forget the Dahlia Festival the last weekend in August and Labor Day weekend. During the festival, you can see over 400 cut flower displays, enjoy specialty foods, and see flower arranging demonstrations.
Swan Island Dahlias is located in Canby,
just minutes south of Portland.
Come see us!
The Standard TV and Appliance store-wide sale going on now.
Huge price cuts on top brand appliances, mattresses, and 4K Ultra High Def TVs. Save big on a Samsung front load washer, only $424, or save 43% on a Frigidaire stainless steel French door refrigerator. Or get a deluxe stainless steel Whirlpool dishwasher, now only $399. Plus, get a Simmons Beauty Rest mattress for only $499.
Hurry, the store-wide sale ends Monday. Standard TV and Appliance.
So I am in the beautiful city of Vancouver, right across the river, and I'm here with homeowners Daphne and Andy. And the reason we're here is because the wall does wonderful work on patios and stuff, and you have had it done here. So before we get into that, I want to know what went on back here before this redo.
Well, we've had many stages of the backyard. We've had grass.
Because how long have you lived here?
We've lived in the home 25 years.
Wow, okay.
And we've had grass, and we've had gardening, and also another smaller patio, and a water feature, and fruit
and I
trees,
hear a huge buddleia at one time as well.
Yes.
So who was responsible for the changes up until now? Did you do a lot of that?
Daphne and I have done it all.
Wow. And then what was it that said, okay, this time let's go somewhere else? Was it just the sheer amount of work or what you wanted to put in?
Daphne wanted the front walk done, and when the wall came to do a bid on that, I had him come back here and look at this.
Ah, so you kind of played a little game there, didn't you? So the wall did come out, not only that time, but another time, right?
Right.
This current time. What is it that you liked about working with them the first time?
Oh, they were wonderful. I thought they just did a great professional job,
Yeah.
and all the guys were really nice.
And so then when you decided to do this area here, what was it that made you decide on a fireplace?
Well, that's always been his dream to have one out there.
So you're just helping fulfill his dream, huh?
Right, yeah. He said, my dream is in the backyard, and I just wanted a front walk.
You just wanted a front walk, so you both ultimately got what you wanted.
Right, yeah. So the dream became reality.
Wonderful. Well, I'm going to now take a moment, and then I'm going to talk with Rick from the wall and see what went on to create this beautiful back patio area. So now I am here with Rick from the wall, and I have to say that for me, on this yard, this is like amazing. I love outdoor fireplaces, but before I get into that, Rick, this isn't a huge backyard. It is completely fenced. When people come to you with desires for their backyard like you've done here, you guys really can get almost anywhere, can't you, and do the job?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we figure it out. Figure out the way. We've got small size equipment, and we can get into most places.
So when Andy and Daphne came to you, it was quite a while ago when you first worked for them, wasn't it?
Yeah, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great
and
customers.
I do think that that speaks volumes about you and the wall, because here they are a decade later, and tell me what it is that you did here ultimately.
Well, they wanted to increase their outdoor living space.
Yeah.
So really, a lot of this is their idea and their creation, and we just executed it. They wanted a bigger patio. They had their wonderful deck. They wanted a space here that they could use and enjoy. So we did stamped colored concrete, stone finish, and then of course they wanted the outdoor fireplace.
Well, if Daphne is telling the truth, he wanted the
That's right.
and he got what he wanted.
Exactly.
And it's so cool to me, because when they're done well, they still look like fireplaces, but they look like they are supposed to be outside.
Right. It's a focal point of the yard. It's something you can enjoy, and they look beautiful.
Well, you know, one of the things I noticed too, though, in this design here is they have both said that they were tired of doing all the gardening, and yet with all of this patio space, you guys did such a great job of still having so many plants. It looks like a garden.
Right. They've got the nice patio, but yet they've got the borders with the nice beds, and of course the raised areas with the plants. And
yeah. So Rick, when people look outside on their yard and they think, I really would like to do this or do that, what are some of the concerns that they bring to you that you can alleviate for them?
Well, a lot of people see big projects on a grand scale.
Yes.
Well, we can reduce that to an average sized city lot, and it's amazing how much you can maximize your space if it's designed and planned right.
Well, and you know, Rick, as this example has showed us, not only can you make that happen, but you can also come back a decade later and do even more that they started that time. You know, I think that's amazing.
Yeah, we do a lot of, I'd say 30% of our business is repeat customers.
Well, you know, if you're thinking to yourself, I really would like to have a fireplace of my own, or even a fire pit or something else in your yard, go to gardentime.tv. We will click you over to their website. You can set up an appointment, have them come out and talk with you. I'm sure you'll come to a wonderful conclusion on what to do. It's always a pleasure, Rick.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
William, really, a corn dog?
Yes, a corn dog. And Judy, let me tell you why. Because a corn dog is just like Garden Time. It is filled with rich, delicious, meaty goodness surrounded by wonderful, intense, deep-fried flavors.
You know, I think Garden Time is like a corn dog because we have our own hot dog.
Well, maybe. But you know, if you do love corn dogs, you have to come out to the Oregon State Fair. It lasts through Labor Day, and then you can get all of this wonderful food and fun. You can do rides, you can see all kinds of animals. It really is a blast to bring the family to.
Well, William and I are going to have a blast, and we thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week here on Garden Time.
Have you ever wished you could say,
I built that?
At the Northwest College of Construction, you'll learn how to build a home from start to finish and launch your career. But hurry, classes start September 23rd and are limited to 12 students. Find out more and register online at nwcoc.com.
The proceeding was a paid program of the Guston Creative Group and its sponsors.